The wind howled across the jagged cliffs, carrying the scent of smoke and scorched earth. Arik pressed himself against the stone wall, eyes scanning the abyss below. His heart raced, not from the height, but from the tiny, trembling creature. Nestled in his arms a baby dragon, its scales shimmering like molten gold in the dying sunlight. He hadn't planned on finding it. The village had warned him that the northern cliffs were cursed, haunted by beasts and spirits. But the shrill cries echoing over the crags had drawn him anyway. And now, here it was, a life so small, so fragile, it seemed impossible to believe. It could survive in this world. The dragon's wings quivered, too weak to hold it up. Its eyes wide amber, and filled with a mixture of fear and recognition, locked onto Arik's. And in that gaze, he felt a connection stronger than any human bond he'd ever known. I've got you, he whispered, careful not to make sudden movements. The creature's warmth seeped into his hands, a heartbeat against his chest, but relief was short-lived. A rustle behind him made him stiffen. Shadows moved along the cliffside, shifting with the wind. He wasn't alone. From the shadows emerged a group of figures, tall and imposing, cloaked in black leathers that glinted faintly in the fading sun. Their faces were hidden beneath hooded masks, but their intent was unmistakable. They circled him slowly, like predators sizing up prey. Arik tightened his grip on the dragon. "Who are you?" His voice was steadier than he felt. One of them stepped forward, tall figure, mask etched with jagged lines, spoke, voice low and resonant. "That dragon belongs to us. You've taken what is not yours, human." Arik shook his head. "It's a baby. It doesn't belong to anyone. It was abandoned. I saved its life." A snort of laughter, dry and cruel, met his words. "Saved it? You've only made things worse for yourself. The dragon is the last of its kind. Its blood is valuable, its scales priceless. Now you will pay." Arik's heart pounded, and the baby dragon whimpered in fear. His mind raced. There were too many of them. He couldn't fight all of them, not with a fragile hatchling in his arms. He backed toward the edge of the cliff, the wind whipping past him. Below, the jagged rocks promised death if he fell. Above, the sky darkened with clouds, as though the world itself was holding its breath. Then something unexpected happened. The baby dragon stirred, its small body glowing faintly. A pulse of golden light emanated from it, illuminating the shadows around them. The group froze. Their movements slowed, their eyes, though obscured, tensed. "What? What is that?" One whispered. Arik felt the warmth spread through his chest, and a surge of courage filled him. He hadn't known dragons could do this, but somehow he knew it was connected to trust, to the bond they had just begun. "Stay back," he said, raising his hands. The dragon still cradled against him. The glow grew stronger, pulsing in rhythm with the baby dragon's heartbeat. And then, to Arik's astonishment, the creature let out a high-pitched chirpa sound, so pure, so penetrating, it seemed to resonate in the very bones of the cloaked group. One by one, they faltered. Their anger melted into something else. Confusion, awe, maybe even fear. The leader lowered a hand and the others followed. Arik's voice trembled, but he spoke with conviction. "You don't understand. It's just a baby. If you take it, it will die. But if you leave it, maybe it can survive. Maybe it can grow strong." Silence fell. The wind carried the dragon's soft, glowing hum across the cliffs. And then the unthinkable happened. The group didn't attack. Instead, one of them, smaller than the others, with a mask cracked across the forehead, stepped forward. Slowly, carefully, they reached out a hand, not in aggression, but in respect. Arik's brow furrowed in confusion. "What are you doing?" The figure knelt, bowing slightly. We thought you were stealing, but seeing your care." "Understand now. You didn't take it for profit. You saved it. That is something rare." Ripple of murmurs passed through the group. The air, once thick with hostility, seemed to shift. Even the leader, the one who had spoken so harshly, finally spoke again. "You have courage, and a heart we haven't seen in a long time. Perhaps the dragon is meant to choose its guardian, not the other way around." Arik blinked. choose its guardian. Yes, the leader said. Dragons have always been revered, feared, but the bond with a human is sacred. If the dragon accepts you, it'll grow strong, and so will you. The baby dragon chirped, again, stepping slightly closer to Eric's chest. Its wings twitched, but it didn't struggle. The glow softened, wrapping them both in warmth. Eric's shoulders relaxed. Then I'll protect it. Always. The cloaked group murmured among themselves, some lowering their heads, others placing a hand over their hearts. Slowly they began to retreat, giving Arik space. The leader lingered, then nodded once. Take care of it, human. The world will test you both, but for now, you are its protector. And perhaps one day you will teach us what it means to be worthy of a dragon's trust. With that, they vanished into the shadows, leaving Arik and the baby dragon alone on the cliff. The wind still roared, but it no longer felt threatening. Arik lowered himself to the ground, setting the dragon gently on his lap. I don't know what the future holds, he whispered, but I promise I'll keep you safe. The dragon nuzzled his hand, and for a moment, Arik felt something extraordinary. The beginning of a bond that would shape the fate of both humans and dragons. A like night fell over the cliffs, stars appearing like scattered gems in the dark sky. The dragon curled against Arik, its tiny body glowing softly, a beacon of life and hope. And as the wind carried the distant echoes of the group's departure, Arik knew that today had changed everything. Not just for him, but for the world. Somewhere, deep inside, he sensed a story had begun. A story of trust, courage, and the unthinkable acts that love could inspire, not just between humans, but between species, and with the baby dragon in his arms, Arik felt ready to face whatever came next.